Hey all, it's Marco from Random Door Media. Behind this door we have a look at another Marvel comic book that has been adapted to video. Back in 1962, Stan Lee and Jack Kirby from Marvel Comics debuted a new comic book. After being exposed to gamma rays, scientist Bruce Banner would physically and mentally change into a huge muscular being called the Incredible Hulk, or the Hulk. The metamorphosis would happen when Bruce became angry. The Hulk was seen as an anger-filled monster that wreaked havoc wherever it went, but in reality the Hulk just wanted to be left alone and find peace. Bruce Banner and his alter ego went on to have many adventures, which included trying to stay away from a military that hunted him, to joining the superhero team called the Avengers. The character appeared in hundreds of comic books, had a television show in the late 1970s, and was part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe beginning in 2008. Then, in 1980, Stan Lee and John Buscema revealed a new Hulk-like character in the comic book The Savage She-Hulk. After receiving a blood transfusion from her cousin Bruce Banner, Jennifer Walter was afflicted with a similar condition and would change into a larger green version of herself that would become known as She-Hulk. Jennifer also went on to have many adventures and even became members of superhero groups like the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. Fast forward to 2022. And Disney Marvel Studios unleashed into the world a television show based on this character. In a previous video of mine, I praised the Marvel Studios on how well they adhered to the origin stories of many of the decades-old comic book characters that appeared in various MCU movies. I pointed out how I was able to look up the entries of the characters in the Marvel Universe comic books from the 1980s and was pleased to see that at least the origin stories of characters like Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Ant-Man were pretty faithful to their comic book counterparts. Let's take a look at how well this TV show stays faithful to the origins of She-Hulk. Okay, we have the entry from the Marvel Universe Deluxe Edition from 1986. As a lawyer defending a criminal, Jennifer Walters was targeted by a gangster that wanted her dead. Jennifer was being visited by her cousin Bruce Banner when she was badly shot by some henchmen. To save his cousin from bleeding out, Bruce performed an emergency blood transfusion. After getting Jennifer to safety, Bruce turns into the Hulk and flees the area before the police can question him. While recovering in the hospital, Jennifer feels some of the effects of Bruce's gamma-irradiated blood that mixed with hers. She is then assaulted by the same thugs that shot her, but the stress of the situation causes her to change into a large green-skinned version of herself, whom the thugs call She-Hulk. Facing a Jennifer that is now tall, agile, and immensely strong, the henchmen flee the hospital with the She-Hulk in hot pursuit. After realizing the power that she just acquired, Jennifer resolves to let the She-Hulk handle any issue that she is unable to. For the first run of her 25-issue comic series, Jennifer finds herself unable to control her transformation after enduring stressful situations such as being threatened by mobsters and losing her best friend. The She-Hulk acts in ways too brutal for Jennifer to handle, and she contemplates turning herself into the authorities. Instead, she continues to use her transformation into the She-Hulk to bring criminals to justice and to save people, while frequently fighting her emotions to avoid changing when it would be inappropriate. For a long time, Jennifer keeps her alter ego a secret, and only a few people knew the truth of her transformation ability. Just like with the Hulk, She-Hulk uses her abilities to fight crime, and yet still ends up being seen as a monster hunted by the authorities. That is from the Savage She-Hulk series, the beginning of the character. When She-Hulk came out in her second series, The Sensational She-Hulk, Jennifer embraced the Hulk persona and stayed in that form. She also started her signature breaking the fourth wall commentary. Let's take a look at how well the She-Hulk television show handled the origin story. In the first episode of the show, it is revealed that Jennifer Walters is a lawyer, and she is being visited by her cousin Bruce Banner. Okay, we're off to a good start. While driving along the highway, Jennifer swerves to avoid a spaceship and the vehicle goes off a cliff. And the show stops any sort of resemblance to the origin from the comic book. Jennifer and Bruce are injured in the resulting crash. There's no gangster henchmen. Nobody's being shot. But then Bruce states Jennifer with some sort of blood transfusion though, right? No. Instead, both Bruce and Jennifer are bleeding from injuries sustained during the crash, and some of Bruce's blood drips into Jennifer's open wound, and somehow this causes enough of his blood to enter her system, causing a Hulk-like transformation. Also, apparently Bruce demonstrates some new special ability because he says, "Get away from me, I'm bleeding," and his mouth doesn't even move. Jennifer then flees the accident scene for some reason, abandoning her cousin. She wakes up in the forest after returning to her regular form and goes to a nearby bar. Some people outside the bar talk to her, which apparently is enough to get her angry, and she turns into a Hulk. Before she can hurt them, she is tackled by the Bruce Banner Hulk and rendered unconscious. So, since there's no gangster involved in the story, and no hitman, there are no thugs to attack her in the hospital, which Jennifer does not even go to anyway. Since the MCU version of Bruce Banner has achieved the identity of Smart Hulk, Bruce does not flee the scene. Instead, he takes his cousin to his tropical laboratory, where he proceeds to try to teach Jennifer to use her Hulk powers. As there is no story with a gangster in the show, there is no story about Jennifer using her She-Hulk alter ego to go after said gangster. Also, by the end of the first episode, it appears that Jennifer and her She-Hulk form are both accepted by society. So the origin of the character in the television show was drastically different from that in the comic book. In the character history from the Marvel Universe comic, it says that Bruce Banner visited Jennifer to re-establish contact with his childhood friend and to confide in her the emotional trauma that being the Hulk had caused him over the years. And that is true. As the Hulk, Bruce Banner has experienced immense trauma and tragedy, being changed into a destructive monster when he is unable to control his anger, having people fear him and being hunted by the police and the military, having to stay away from friends and family for their safety. In the MCU, Bruce spent a few years with his personality suppressed while the Hulk took control of his body and fought in a gladiator-style arena. In the Avengers movie, Bruce says how he tried to end his life, but the Hulk spit out the bullet. He has been through a great deal of incredibly tragic situations.
Well, here's the thing, Bruce. I'm great at controlling my anger. I do it all the time. When I'm catcalled in the street, when incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I do it pretty much every day, because if I don't, I will get called emotional or difficult, or I might just literally get murdered. So I'm an expert at controlling my anger because I do it infinitely more than you.
Alrighty then. That plot point did not happen either. And Bruce is like, "Yup, you definitely have life much more difficult than what I have gone through." Wow, there is no need to do any sort of comparison between the show and the source material. Other than Jennifer is a lawyer and somehow gained her Hulk transformation from the blood of Bruce Banner, the television show did not even bother with the origin from the comic books. I don't understand the point of not using the source material when companies adapt a novel or comic book. If you like the existing material, then use it. It's already there, it's already written for you. If you don't like the source material, then what the heck are you using it for? It's like going to somebody and saying, "Hey, I really love your cake, can I get the recipe?" Then making the cake, but using a different recipe, but still promoting it as that person's cake. Anyway, that is all I have to say about this show as an adaptation. Please do all the YouTube requirements like clicking on like and subscribing. How important is it to you that adaptations stay true to the source material? Is it something that bothers you, or do you not care? Leave a comment and let me know. Take care, everyone.